Management system certification nowadays it has become so common. It is not important whether this system is for the small scale industry or this is for the corporate world, because in the global economy, if you want to be a part of supply chain, you have to have a same language what others are speaking. You have to have a same understanding the way your customer or the way your supplier is understanding. To synchronization of whole supply chain in globalized world, the management system is becoming one of the common language among all. This journey, ideally it was started long back during the Second World War, when the URS Army was facing a big challenge to manage their army, because some of the army in a different country, some of the army was in a different country. So it was a very difficult task to manage the whole in a same objective. So when this management came such a large manner, so it came as a military standard. Later on, when the World War is over and world was very hungry to grow economically because there was a huge economical loss, and somehow this military standard was adopted in the industry, which really helped in UK. I am sure many of you must be aware of Manchester Revolution. It was a revolution in the textile, and Manchester was the hub for the textile industry. Somehow the concept of the military standard was adopted by these industries, and they understood this is one of the professional way to manage the organization. Later on, UK government itself, they come up with the standard BS 5750, which was almost same concept from the military standard what it was adopted by the military. This BS 5750 was one of the revolutionary standard in the industry, because first time industry understood to manage each of the activity. When I am saying activity, it means sales activity, purchase activity, production activity. First time they understood there could be a system to manage the activities of the organization. So that standard really helped a lot in the economical or the industrial revolution. When the industry understood the beauty of these management standard, it became more and more requirement for the industry. Later on, when after the World War crisis, when the world started thinking that why should we have a one global bodies, and these global bodies should help the countries each other and make a solution in an amicably manner. That's why the requirement of UN, United Nations, and many more international bodies formed, like World Health Organization, International Labour Organization. They come up to resolve the conflict between the countries. So these world bodies was one of the greatest initiatives after the World War II to resolve the conflicts, to resolve the requirements and many more things. So these world bodies really helped a lot. In the same pattern, when the industrial revolution was there, so people were also asking why not we should have a world body related to the standard as well. During that period, Germany having a very strong DIN standards, UK having a very strong BS standard, USA having a very strong ASTM standard, and they were very fruitfully utilizing these standards for their own industrial growth. But there was a huge gap in other nations. They were not in a position to develop such a standard which could be beneficial for them. So they started adopting either DIN standard, BS standard or ASTM standard in their own country. Most of the time these standards were very useful because they were having nothing. So at least they were getting something to start with. But as long as the things were improving, they understood no, they are not in a position to 100% adopt these standards as it is in their own country, because geographically situation different, weather conditions different, people behavior different, use of the product different. So there was so many requirement was there, it need to be customized as per the local requirement. So the world started thinking why not we should have a world body related to the standard as well. And that's how the world body by the name of ISO, where the full form of the ISO is International Organization for Standardization. It says International Organization for Standardization, but we say ISO. Why we say ISO? Because the ISO word is coming from the Greek language, where the meaning of the ISO is homogenization. Homogenization means everything is equal. So rather than they are saying IOS, they started saying ISO. But as an abbreviation, we always say International Organization for Standardization. So that international body come into the picture to take care of industrial requirement of the countries. The way all other world bodies were situated in the Switzerland, Geneva, ISO was also formed the head office in Geneva itself. But I think nowadays you know very well that UN body has moved from the Geneva and now the head office is in New York. But still majority of the world bodies is still in the Switzerland and in Geneva. So ISO also head office is in Geneva.